In the shopping mall, I caught my fiancé, Alex, embracing his first love, Mia. She beamed brightly, while he wore a tender expression. A picture-perfect couple. This was the same man who, just half an hour earlier, told me he had to work and couldn't accompany me. When Alex spotted me, he was startled, but didn't come over. Instead, my phone buzzed with a message. "Don't misunderstand. I'll explain everything when I get home." I sneered, raised my phone, and snapped a photo of the two of them being all lovey-dovey. Without hesitation, I sent the picture to Alex's family group chat and my own social circle, adding the caption, "Congratulations to Alex and his first love Mia on their reunion. Wishing you both eternal happiness. I'm bowing out of this wedding." Within moments, calls flooded my phone, but I ignored them and turned it off. People assumed I had lost my cool. They didn't understand. This wasn't just one straw breaking the camel's back. It was a mountain of straws accumulated over time. Let me start from the beginning. It all began with an old Nokia phone Alex refused to part with because it contained his chat history with Mia. Then there were the times he would secretly check her social media and erase his browsing history, or when he insisted I wear my hair in a ponytail, because that's how Mia used to style hers. It was all too much. Too many small signs I had ignored. Back then, I convinced myself it was normal for everyone to have a first love and a few regrets. After all, those were things of the past, and everyone deserves to have their own youthful memories, right? So I tolerated it, even naively thinking Alex's nostalgia made him a sentimental, genuine man, someone worthy of my trust. But today, I finally realized how wrong I had been. Some things aren't in the past. They linger, festering like old wounds that never truly heal. A month ago, I noticed Alex often seemed lost in thought. Although I knew he didn't love me deeply, I also didn't love him that much either. We were both nearing 30, and our parents, anxious about our future, arranged for us to meet. With our similar family backgrounds and stable careers, it just seemed like the logical match. Alex initially took the lead, busy booking the venue, setting up the menu, and arranging for wedding photos. But as time went on, his enthusiasm dwindled. I found myself doing most of the work, while he delayed things constantly. I suspected something was off. Then, one evening while I was having dinner at Alex's house, Mia, his first love, suddenly showed up uninvited. The awkward expressions on his parents' faces and Alex's own discomfort confirmed my suspicions. "Uncle, Auntie, I've just returned from Beijing and brought some local delicacies for you," Mia said sweetly, her dimples showing as she smiled. When she saw me, she exclaimed in a falsely enthusiastic tone, "Oh, you must be my sister-in-law. Alex is so lucky to have someone as beautiful as you." Her sugary words and overly familiar demeanor raised my guard instantly. Alex's parents, not wanting to escalate the situation, invited her to stay for dinner. They quickly explained to me that Mia was just an old classmate of Alex's, and it had been years since they last met. "I've always loved your braised fish, Auntie," Mia chimed in during the meal, her voice dripping with nostalgia. "Back in Beijing, I would often crave it, but could never find the same flavor." Alex's father got up to fetch her a bowl, but Mia stopped him with a polite smile. "No need, Uncle. I remember where the dishes are kept. They're still in the second cabinet upstairs, right?" Her casual familiarity sent shivers down my spine. I decided to confront her directly. "You're Alex's first love, aren't you?" Caught off guard, Mia froze for a moment. Then, like a skilled actress, she feigned innocence. "Oh, that was so long ago. We were young and didn't know any better. Sister-in-law, please don't hold it against me." "Why would I?" I replied calmly. "Everyone has a past. I'm curious, though. Why did you two break up?" Mia hesitated before speaking softly, her voice tinged with regret. "My brother started a company back then, and I had to move to Beijing to help him. It couldn't be helped. I've always been someone who listens to family." "Interesting," I said, nodding. "And how's your brother's business now?" "It did well in the first couple of years, but it's been struggling lately." In fact, he had to shut it down recently. Mia admitted, her tone unusually candid. So, no contact with Alex in all these years? I probed further. Not exactly, Mia replied, her voice barely a whisper. Back when the business was doing well, Alex would message me, but I never replied. Recently, with my brother's company closing, I just remembered Alex. Her words aligned perfectly with human nature. People always remember old flames when they need comfort or security. I smiled coldly. Makes sense. Mia's face flushed red, then turned pale. It's not like that, Alex, she began, looking helplessly at him. All right, let's eat first. Alex finally spoke up, breaking the tense atmosphere. However, I noticed the displeasure on his face. It seemed he wasn't happy about me exposing Mia's intentions. Or perhaps he felt embarrassed for her. Taking a deep breath, I turned to Alex's parents and said calmly, Uncle, Auntie, and Alex. Since Mia is here, let's address this directly. We've all seen enough TV dramas about love triangles, and I'm not interested in being part of one. If Alex and I are going to get married, I expect loyalty after the wedding. Whatever happened before isn't my concern. I hope today we can make everything clear. Alex's parents immediately tried to reassure me. Nyan, what are you saying? You're the only daughter-in-law we recognize. No one else matters. I glanced at Alex, who kept his head down, avoiding my gaze. The wedding will proceed as planned, he mumbled. Mia, however, looked visibly flustered, though she quickly composed herself. Don't be so suspicious, sister-in-law. Alex and I are just friends now, Mia said, with a falsely innocent smile. Good, I replied with a nod. I trust everyone will keep their word. Also, Mia, if you still have feelings for Alex and hope he'll return to you, I suggest you speak up now. After all, we're not married yet. There's still a chance. No, I swear, I only see Alex as a brother, Mia stammered, looking genuinely panicked. However, her eyes darted toward Alex, as if seeking his confirmation. Alex's face darkened, but he didn't say anything. That evening, when we returned home, Alex claimed he had some work to do and went straight into his study. I understood. Seeing his first love again, after all these years, must have stirred something in him. It was normal to need time to process those emotions. For the past few years, Alex had been doing well in his career. Although his company wasn't large, it was profitable, bringing in about $1 million annually. As for me, I worked as a sales director with nearly 100 employees under me, earning commissions of 600,000 to 700,000 yuan each year. Both of us had our own homes and cars. Marrying Alex wasn't about marrying up. It was a logical partnership based on compatibility rather than love. Deep down, we both understood this. The next day, I received a friend request on WeChat. The username was Mia Mew. My intuition told me it was her. She didn't say anything, and neither did I. Later that day, she posted a status on her moments. It feels like nothing has changed after all these years. Thank you for taking me back to the past. The accompanying picture was of two pairs of legs, one wearing Alex's unmistakable shoes. I took a screenshot and sent it to Alex with the message, "So, this is your busy work schedule today?" Moments later, Mia deleted the post from her moments. Perhaps she assumed I would throw a tantrum when Alex returned, leaving her to play the gentle, understanding role and slowly reclaim Alex's love. Unfortunately for her, I wasn't the emotional, dramatic type. I was direct and efficient, a woman who believed in swift action. When Alex came home that night, he tried to explain. Mia just got back to town and doesn't have many friends. She asked me to go for a walk, and I couldn't refuse, but I promise it won't happen again. Alex, we're not children, I replied firmly. You're an adult. I trust you know where to draw the line. But let me be clear, I don't want this happening again. Alex nodded hastily. Of course, you know me, I wouldn't. But that night, Mia updated her moments again. I regret leaving you. Do you think it's too late for us? Seeing Mia's new post, I couldn't help but shake my head. I despised people like her. those who played coy while stirring up trouble behind the scenes. That evening during dinner, I decided to address the issue head-on. Mia, if you still have feelings for Alex, just say it directly. There's no need for this kind of back and forth. Let's be adults about it, I said plainly, my tone calm but firm. Mia's face turned bright red, and she stammered, "Sister-in-law, you misunderstand. I only see Alex as a brother." "Oh, really? Then why post such messages? It's fine if you're honest about your feelings, but I'd appreciate it if you stopped this behavior. It's disrespectful to everyone involved," I replied, staring her down. Mia quickly changed the subject, asking if she could attend Alex's upcoming birthday party. "Alex said I should ask you directly," she added, her voice as sweet as honey. "Sure," I replied curtly. "It's in 20 days, and by then, Alex and I will be married. If you plan to do something, I suggest you act quickly. It's your last chance." Mia seemed taken aback by my bluntness, but managed to maintain her composure. The next day after work, I decided to visit Alex's private room at the restaurant he had booked. As I opened the door, I saw Mia leaning on Alex's shoulder, laughing and chatting. Alex had a tender expression I hadn't seen before, one he had never shown me. The atmosphere changed the moment they noticed me. Alex's friend Ryan, who was also present, quickly coughed and tried to explain. "Don't misunderstand, Emma. Mia is just an old classmate." Mia stood up immediately, flashing her signature innocent smile. "Oh, sister-in-law, you're here. Please, let me help with the food." Her casual demeanor, as if she were the hostess, made me feel like an outsider. Ryan, sensing the tension, quickly gave up his seat next to Alex. "Emma, you should sit here. After all, you and Alex are the stars of this dinner." "No need. Anywhere is fine," I replied, choosing a seat opposite Mia instead. She smiled politely, but her eyes betrayed a hint of smugness. Throughout the meal, the men mainly discussed business, leaving Mia little room to interject. She tried several times to steer the conversation toward the past, but the others showed no interest. Seeing this, Alex began paying extra attention to her, even going so far as to pick food for her plate. Mia smiled contentedly, as if to challenge me. I watched quietly, my mind calculating my next move. Just as Mia was about to speak, Ryan interrupted, handing me a piece of pork belly. "Emma, I know women don't usually like fatty meat, but this is the best part. You should try it." His gesture was deliberate, and I knew exactly what he was doing, using subtle methods to counter Mia's tactics. I played along, taking a bite and praising the dish. "Ryan, you're such a thoughtful friend," I said with a smile, glancing at Mia and Alex. Ryan's actions clearly irritated Alex, whose expression darkened. "Ryan," Alex said, his tone heavy with disapproval. "What's wrong, Alex?" I replied, cutting him off. "Ryan's just being a good friend." Alex and I locked eyes briefly before he looked away. For the rest of the evening, the tension in the air was palpable. Toward the end of the dinner, Mia clutched her stomach dramatically and said, "I think I drank a little too much. Alex, would you mind taking me home? It's not safe for me to take a taxi alone." Alex hesitated, glancing at me. His expression betrayed his wish for my permission. Before I could respond, Ryan interjected. "Mia, Alex is about to get married. It wouldn't be appropriate for him to escort you home. I'll take you instead, but you live in the opposite direction." Mia pouted, clearly displeased. Ryan smirked. "And Alex doesn't live in the same direction as you, either. Let's not make things awkward." Mia reluctantly agreed, though her frustration was evident. Ryan escorted her out, and as they left, he turned to Alex and whispered, "You better get your priorities straight. Everyone can see what's going on." On the way home, Alex tried to defend himself. "Mia didn't mean anything by it. She's just a little too dependent on me because of our past." I nodded calmly. "Alex, you don't need to explain anything to me. I just hope you're clear about what you want. We're not married yet. If you want to back out, now's the time. Things will only get more complicated once we're wed." My composed tone seemed to catch Alex off guard. He assured me there was nothing between him and Mia, but his lack of confidence betrayed his words. A few days later, Mia invited Alex and me to lunch, saying she wanted to officially thank us. Sensing another game, I accepted her invitation, but made sure to notify Ryan. When I arrived at the restaurant, Mia and Alex were already seated together on the same side of the table, looking like a couple. I took the seat across from them, feeling their smugness. Before long, Ryan arrived, greeting us as though it were a coincidence. "Wow, what a surprise to see you all here. Mind if I join you?" Alex looked annoyed, but didn't object. Throughout the meal, Mia continued her little acts of dependence on Alex, from asking him to peel shrimp for her to subtly reminiscing about their past. At one point, she playfully said, "Alex always used to remove the fatty parts of the meat for me. I've never liked fatty meat, you know." Alex complied without hesitation, smiling warmly at her. I watched silently until Ryan stepped in. He picked up a piece of fatty meat, removed the fat, and handed the lean part to me. "Emma, I know you probably don't like fatty meat either. Here, this should be just right," Ryan said with a wink. I couldn't help but smile. "Thanks, Ryan. You always know how to take care of others." Mia's smile faltered, and Alex's expression darkened. "Ryan," Alex said sharply, his voice laced with irritation. "What's wrong, Alex?" Ryan asked innocently, smirking as he glanced at Mia. "We're all friends here, aren't we?" The tension escalated as Mia tried to salvage her position. "Alex, I accidentally drank from your glass earlier. Should we ask the staff for a new one?" "It's fine," Alex replied, brushing it off. He took another sip from the same glass without thinking. Ryan raised an eyebrow. "Well, since we're all so close, I don't see the harm in sharing," he said, picking up my glass and taking a sip before handing it back to me. I laughed quietly, understanding his game. "Thanks for sharing, Ryan," I said, playing along. By the end of the meal, Alex's mood had soured entirely, while Mia wore a strained smile. As we left the restaurant, Mia stumbled slightly, grabbing Alex's arm for support. "Alex, could you take me home? I don't feel well." Before Alex could respond, Ryan stepped in once again. "Don't worry, Mia. I'll take care of you." Mia's face fell, but she had no choice but to go with Ryan. As we drove home, Alex remained silent, his frustration evident. That evening, Alex sat on the couch, looking tense. "Mia was a bit out of line today," he admitted, his voice low. "I'm sorry, Emma." I looked at him calmly. "Mia isn't the problem, Alex. You are. Every move she makes requires your cooperation. She couldn't do it alone." My directness made him visibly uncomfortable. His face turned red as he stammered. I didn't mean for it to happen. She just keeps showing up, and I don't know how to handle it." "You don't need to explain," I interrupted. "I've already told you. If you still have feelings for her, go to her now. Don't wait until after the wedding to regret it." "No, I don't," Alex protested. "It's just, she's an old friend. She says she only sees me as a brother. I didn't want to be rude." I sighed, tired of his excuses. "Alex, we're all adults here. Your attitude gives her hope. That's the problem. If you truly don't feel anything for her, then make it clear. Stop letting her think there's still a chance." Alex nodded reluctantly, but his hesitation spoke volumes. The next day, we went to pick out wedding attire. Unsurprisingly, Mia showed up uninvited. She approached me with a bright smile. "Sister-in-law, I hope you don't mind. Alex mentioned you'd be here, so I thought I'd stop by and help carry your bags." I gave her a measured look, but said nothing. Instead, I sent Ryan a quick message, inviting him to join us. If Mia wanted a game, I'd make sure she played it by my rules. While I was trying on wedding dresses, Alex was in another section selecting suits. When I finally stepped out in a gown, I noticed Mia standing next to Alex, wearing a white wedding dress of her own. She twirled in front of him, her laughter echoing through the room. "Alex, what do you think?" she asked coyly. Alex's eyes lit up as he smiled at her. "It suits you," he said softly. Their interaction was interrupted by Ryan, who appeared suddenly at my side. "Emma, let's see how this looks," he said, gesturing to a matching tuxedo. Before I could react, Ryan whisked me into a dressing room. Moments later, he emerged, dressed sharply in the tuxedo. He offered me his arm, and together, we walked out as if we were walking down an aisle. The store manager, noticing us, exclaimed, "Oh my, you two look stunning. It's like these outfits were made for you." The entire room fell silent. Alex and Mia turned to stare at us, their expressions a mix of shock and confusion. The manager continued, oblivious to the tension. "If you don't mind, could we use a photo of you two for our store's advertising? You're the perfect couple." Ryan and I exchanged amused glances, playing along. "Of course," Ryan replied smoothly. Alex's face darkened, and Mia's smile faltered. The store staff, mistaking Alex and Mia for another couple, added, "You two over there also look great. Such a happy day for two pairs of lovebirds." I almost laughed at the irony. Alex's frustration was palpable, but he said nothing. Ryan, ever the opportunist, leaned in and whispered, ready for the next act. Alex finally couldn't hold back his frustration. "Ryan, why are you here?" he asked, his tone tense. Ryan smirked casually. "Oh, I happened to see Mia's post on her Moments. You know, the one where she's trying on a wedding dress. Since I was nearby, I thought I'd drop by to check on my good friends." Alex's face turned a shade darker, and Mia quickly interjected, "It's not what you think. I just wanted to try on a dress for fun." Ryan raised an eyebrow and replied sarcastically, "Oh, I see. Trying on a wedding dress just for fun, huh? Totally normal. Posting it online for everyone to see, that's just casual too, right?" Mia stammered, unable to form a coherent response. The store manager, sensing the awkwardness, excused herself, muttering about needing to check on something in the back. The tension in the room was thick enough to cut with a knife. "Mia, are you seriously comparing trying on a wedding dress to casual shopping at a mall?" Ryan continued, his voice dripping with mockery. "I mean, if that's the case, should we all try on wedding attire and post it on social media for fun?" I couldn't help but suppress a small laugh as Mia's face turned bright red. "It's not like that," she murmured. Ryan pressed on. "If it's not, then what is it? Please, enlighten us. Everyone here would love to understand your logic." Alex finally stepped in, his voice firm. "That's enough, Ryan. Let's not make a big deal out of nothing." Ryan shrugged, still wearing his trademark smirk. "If it's nothing, Alex, then why does it bother you so much? Shouldn't we all be able to laugh about this and move on?" Alex said nothing, his jaw tightening. Mia looked like she wanted to disappear into the floor. I decided to intervene before the situation escalated further. "All right, that's enough," I said calmly. "Let's leave it at that." As I turned to the store manager to apologize for the commotion, Mia suddenly stumbled, clutching her ankle. "Ouch, I think I twisted my foot," she whimpered, her voice tinged with drama. Alex immediately moved toward her, but Ryan was faster. "Don't worry, Mia, I'll take care of you," he said, helping her up. Mia's expression flickered between annoyance and helplessness. "Thank you, Ryan, but I don't want to trouble you," she said meekly. "No trouble at all," Ryan replied with a grin. "Alex, Emma, you two should head home. I'll make sure Mia gets home safely." Alex hesitated, glancing at me as if seeking my approval. I nodded slightly, watching the scene unfold with detached amusement. On the way home, Alex tried to explain again. "Mia didn't mean to cause trouble. She's just nostalgic about the past." "I've told you before, Alex," I said, my tone even. "If you're unsure about your feelings, figure them out now. We still have time before the wedding." Alex didn't respond, but his silence spoke louder than words. That night, he left the house under the pretense of work. I knew he was going to see Mia, and for once, I didn't care. The next morning, I received a message from Mia. "Let's settle this once and for all. Why don't we both meet Alex at the same time and see who he chooses?" It seemed Mia was finally ready to make her move. With less than a week until the wedding, she must have realized this was her last chance. I replied simply, Fine, let's see what he does. That afternoon, I messaged Alex. My ankle is still swollen from yesterday. I'm thinking about going to the hospital for an x-ray. Alex called immediately. What? You're still in pain? Why didn't you tell me sooner? It's not a big deal, I replied. I just want to be cautious. Can you come with me? I'd love to, but I have a contract signing this afternoon. I'll come find you after, okay? He said, his voice filled with guilt. I smiled faintly. Sure, I understand. Good luck with your meeting. Shortly after, I received a picture from Mia. She and Alex were shopping together at the mall, looking cozy. The caption read, "Sometimes fate brings people back together." I stared at the photo for a moment, feeling no anger, only clarity. It was time to end this. I went straight to the mall, taking photos of the two of them laughing and shopping together. Then, I sent the pictures to Alex's family group chat with the caption, "I'm calling off the wedding. Best of luck to Alex and Mia." I immediately blocked Alex's number and turned off my phone. It wasn't out of anger, it was out of finality. There was no point in discussing anything further. My decision was made. That evening, Ryan called. "Are you okay?" he asked, concern lacing his voice. I chuckled. Why wouldn't I be? I'm not the type to let personal issues interfere with work. If I shut off my phone completely, I'd risk losing important deals. Ryan sighed in relief. Good to hear. So, have you thought about what you'll say to your family? I'll tell them the truth, I replied. It's not my style to sugarcoat things. My mom will probably drag me to meet new prospects right away. Ryan hesitated for a moment before speaking. Well, if you're considering dating again, how about giving me a chance? I paused, slightly taken aback. What did you just say? Ryan laughed nervously. You heard me. Let's give it a shot. All right, I said, after a moment of thought. Ryan seemed stunned by my straightforwardness. Pick me up after work tonight, I added, smiling. He chuckled, his voice tinged with excitement. You won't regret this. Ryan picked me up after work as promised. Unlike Alex, he was straightforward and honest. A refreshing change. During our dinner together, we spoke candidly about the past and the future. I know some people might think I'm stealing someone else's fiancé, Ryan said with a half smile. But honestly, Alex didn't deserve you. He couldn't even figure out his own feelings. I nodded, appreciating his bluntness. You're right, I don't regret ending things with Alex. It's better this way. A few weeks later, news about Alex and Mia started circulating. Apparently, Mia had demanded an extravagant dowry from Alex. 5 million yuan, a new apartment in the city center, and a promise not to live with his parents. She even threatened to call off the wedding and terminate her pregnancy if her demands weren't met. Desperate, Alex reportedly embezzled funds from his company to cover her requests. When the clients discovered the missing money, they sued him, forcing Alex to sell his house to repay the debt. The wedding was canceled, and Alex became a laughingstock among his friends and relatives. I heard his mother was so enraged that she ended up in the hospital, and his father threatened to disown him entirely. Meanwhile, Mia disappeared from the scene, leaving Alex to face the fallout alone. As for me, I had already moved on. Ryan and I started a new chapter together. Writing wedding invitations in our shared home brought me a sense of joy and fulfillment I'd never felt before. Happiness comes when you're with someone who truly values you, Ryan said one evening. As we worked side by side, I smiled, knowing he was right. Marrying Ryan wasn't about revenge or proving a point to anyone. It was about finding someone who respected me, someone who didn't hesitate to stand by me no matter what. For the first time in years, I felt free, content, and genuinely excited for the future.